All right. Still Monday. Went to a moving sale, they called that, Saturday. And I brought home this box of stuff. And I thought, you know, this might make a fun YouTube video to show you guys what you can buy at a good moving sale for not too much coin. It's really fun to go to these and just see what they've got, talk to the people, you know, get to know them a little bit. They're only about 4 miles from here, but they sold the place, they're moving, and everything must go. So we're gonna go through this box. I'm gonna show you what I got. And then when we're done, I'll tell you what I paid for it. Now, before we start, I will say that they had, this is the stuff that was in the garage shop area. Obviously not all of it, but they, in the garage at the house, they had the housewares type stuff, and I bought Playmate cooler, the old good style with the button in the end, an electric fry pan for $5. I think I've got enough of those coolers, I can probably quit buying them now. So without further ado, let's get on with what we found at the sale. Okay, to start out with, we got a nice little tubing bender here. I don't know if we've got enough brain power to operate that, but we can try. In this little tote, I thought this was pretty cool. 2 of these little fuel filters that I like, that are near impossible to get from Napa anymore. Some body dollies. Different dollies for doing sheet metal work. Well, look at that. An air check. Yeah, we'll have to put a coupler in there. That's not a big deal. A whole little tote of screwdrivers. Because when you got 47 tractors, I don't actually have 47 tractors, but some days it seems like it. Everybody's got a toolbox and they all need tools. So these are mostly good. Maybe those are Torx. I got a set of screwdrivers from Sears one time like this, and they had some goofballs in there that were basically they weren't good for anything, so you just take them and grind them to fit whatever special straight slot screw you've got. I've done that a lot. If you've got really thin screws, like the forend on an over and under shotgun will have really thin, wide screw slots. And I just take them and file them down until they fit, and then you got a special screwdriver that fits them. That's not the only place you run into that, but that's one of them. We got this here flexible funnel. Can't ever have too many of them, because I had one of those and I brought it over to this building. And then when I want to work on something over in the other building, which is this time of year more often, I'm walking back and forth. So now we can have a funnel in both buildings. This is kind of cool. This is just cork gasket material. And folks, I loathe making gaskets. My buddy Dave that I used to work with, he was a great gasket maker and didn't mind doing it. And like I say, I don't like it at all. And I basically only do it in a absolutely have to situation. But if you have to, it's good to have some material around to use. No idea what that kind of stuff costs. Look at that, huh? Twisted clevis. Can't ever have too many of them around. Okay. One of the big ticket items, Sears Craftsman Advanced Timing Light. I haven't even looked at this out of the package or box or whatever this thing is yet. Well, there's the light. I don't know. We need to time that D17 one of these days, so maybe we'll just employ this. There's all of our wiring. Looks like he got her too close to the exhaust manifold on something. Even has instructions. Okay. That was kind of I was tickled when I saw this. Hopefully it'll work. Now that's the downside of buying stuff at a sale is it pays your money, it takes your chances. It may or may not work, but it looks pretty good. Next up on our hit list, let's go with this. This is, and I'd never heard of the Electric Auto Light Company, but that is 7mm copper core spark plug wire. And that started out life as a 100-foot roll, and I'm gonna say that there's probably still 90 of it there, I don't know. But if a guy, guy's got some boots and some ends, he got custom solid core wires. We got a jug, which started out as 5 quarts. I'm gonna say there's still 4 in it. Quaker State 10W30 motor oil. 2 quarts, I think that one's full. This one's probably 3/4 full. Power steering fluid, which I seem to use an exorbitant amount of. Some Meguiar's Deep Crystal System, number 2, step 2 polish. Well, yeah, I don't know what happened to step 1, but whatever. Turtle Wax Rubbing Compound. Now this is an old one, folks, because that came from the local Coast to Coast store. It's still got the sticker on it. And that's been a few days since we had a Coast to Coast store and they put stickers on it. 2 cans of brake clean. One needs a top. I think they're both partial, but you can't have too much brake clean. There was supposed to be a little poker thing in this box, but apparently it got lost. That's not that big a deal. This is Lucas Extra Heavy Duty Grease. Farm equipment, construction equipment, heavy duty trucks. I don't know. Has very little smell, kind of a green color, but it's Lucas. I'd say it's probably pretty good stuff. And the last item on our list, the 10 amp Shoemaker, I'm not sure how you pronounce that. It says it's standard or AGM, deep cycle, 6 or 12 volt battery charger. And I've been kind of wanting to get another little battery charger because my favorite one that is in the other building, it's a different brand. It fell off the narrow front 45 and now the gauge doesn't work. Still works. The only charger I've got in this building is a big bulky 200 amp booster. Okay, well, I need to make sure that I know if this is for standard or AGM, or if it's AGM only. That's not a huge deal. We'll figure that out. Where does it say? For most charging applications, fully automatic. I assume that that will charge basically any battery. It was kind of funny because there are two guys, and I had just started making a pile of stuff on the floor so I could negotiate the price, you know, on the whole batch. And one of them says to the other, "Where'd that battery charger go?" And I said, "Well, it's kind of buried in the bottom of my pile. Don't panic, I'll pay you for it." So when I got done, and there was a lot of other stuff there that I could or should have probably bought. And, you know, reality is some of this stuff will get used. Probably most of this stuff will get used. The cork gasket material, I hope I don't use too much of, but so much of that stuff that you bring home from a garage sale or anything like that, you kind of goes on your shelf and then it winds up in your sale someday. And try not to buy too much of that. Anyway, I'm sitting there looking at that pile and I'm talking to the guy and I'm thinking, how much am I going to offer him for this? And I hadn't said anything, and I kind of thought, yeah, see if he'd go for 50 bucks. And I said, well, what do you think? It's your stuff. Well, what do you think? You think $50 would be fair? And I said, well, by God, that is a number that actually floated across the wires. I won't even haggle with you. I just gave him 2 20s and a 10, and he found this box, and I loaded it up, got it all in there, and walked to the truck a happy man. So it was supposed to rain here all day. We got about 2/10 this morning. The wind is blowing like a hurricane again. Apparently that's just what it does nowadays. I'm going to go out and finish mowing the grass. The sun is kind of coming out. It is supposed to rain this evening and through the night and through tomorrow. And I don't know. If I just do the Cub Cadet mowing, I got about an hour's worth to go. And I think I can get that done. And life will be good. Thanks for watching.